Coming up next to the stage, my favorite ginger hobbit, all the way from the Shire, the very funny.
He told me gingers have no soul, and then I met this man. He got all the motherfucking soul in the room. Everybody,
He looks like a malnourished Conan O'Brien with his hair grown out. Make some noise right now for Daniel Lowe.
How about it? What's up and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Reno Green Room Podcast, where we go behind the comedy stage to introduce you to your local Reno area comedians. I am your host, Daniel Lowe. Our guest today, he's a killer out here in these streets. I mean that very literally. He has probably killed several men, women, and children at this point. But he runs his own open mic every Tuesday at Coffee and Comics off of Mollman here in Reno. He's the self-proclaimed alien living inside Shaq's chest. Welcome to the show, Stephen Mollman. What's up, man?
What's up? How are you doing?
Yeah, just a little tidbit. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into a little bit of your background, whatever. Talk about you, sort of introduce you to all of our vast audience here. I think we have a total of my mom. My mother. So we have at least 4 people that watch.
Dude, so I get to meet your family.
Well, sort of.
Well,
I mean, they'll be blowing up in the comments. They'll suggest how to be be with your life. They do.
So,
I mean,
like
that's
my
what they do for me.
family.
Yeah,
so, like
yeah.
my family.
Yeah.
Cool.
So cool. Give us a little background about yourself.
Like what?
Yeah, like where'd you
specifically?
grow up? Where are you from? What's your family like? A little bit.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Deadwood, South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Virginia City and Reno mixed, because it's kind of like a mountain town like Virginia City, but then there's all these massive casinos like Reno. Only it's colder and more white people somehow. But it's a cool town. Cool town. Grew up there. Lived in Wyoming for 5 years. That place sucked. I didn't think it sucked until I left it, and then I realized how awful it was. And then I came to Reno, and I've been doing stand-up for 4 years ever since I moved to Reno.
Well, what sucked about Wyoming that you couldn't realize in the moment?
Well, so it wasn't all bad, but what sucked about it is it was a frozen tundra of misery for 9 months out of the year with like -20 wind chills. There was nothing to do there unless you were in college, because outside of the college was the only economy in Laramie, Wyoming. So if you weren't in college, then you basically just go to work and then you go to a bar and try to drink until you forget that you live in a miserable town.
That's funny.
So basically what I did there is before I started comedy, I was streaming like on Twitch, like video games and stuff, because that was my introduction to like entertainment, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really anything else to do, so I'm like, I might as well just play video games and then show people me playing video games.
let strangers watch me on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have quite big enough of a dick for chatterbait. So.
You could do it.
I can, like the more I talk about it, the more I think about it. Some people have told me that I have like a perfect body type for a specific niche on like OnlyFans or whatever.
You could do it, man. You have that, like, people are into that.
Dude, people are like, some people, it's like an actual fetish where there's like body disfigurements. I can't remember what it is, but
Body
people
disfigurement.
people are like super into like weird body shapes sometimes. And I would hit that niche super hard because of my curves.
That's like that. I feel like your dating life is also super niche then, because like you gotta find someone who's into weird bodies, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. My dating life is, people just kind of have to be into what I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I'm just landing supermodels.
Well,
I
mean, they're either like really open-minded people, or they're into your specific deal,
Yeah, and some people are into my specific deal.
that's what
my
we're calling
specific deal.
Scoliosis
and 85-pound mostly bone man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look bigger than 85 though. I don't.
Do I?
Yeah, I don't know why. Because I feel like we're the same size, but I'm not.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
feel
think
like I have 40 pounds on
people.
you.
Well, when people like know that I'm an adult, like under 100 pounds isn't even in the register of what they think is even possible. You know, so I think people are like, oh, you're probably like 110, 120, and I'm like, no, I am legitimately 85 pounds.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone, I'm 120, 125, but everyone's like, you look like you're 85 pounds. I'm like, what? What the fuck? What?
Dude, that would be the worst if I gained weight and people thought I was even lighter than I actually was. I'd be like, well, I guess I'm going to stop eating again.
One of the best roasts anybody's ever done to me was that we were actually at Coffee and Comics before the show, and Matt Owens. It was in the winter. It was last winter, and I was wearing a hoodie like I am now, and a jacket just like I am now, and a beanie just like I am now. And we were talking about how skinny I am, and he goes, "You're the only person I've ever met who's like skinnier the more clothes you put on."
That's a group.
And like I was like, man, that I've never been. That hurt, and I was impressed at the same time. That was just a good joke.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Matt Owens, but otherwise, fuck Matt Owens.
Yeah, someone please fuck that man. He needs it.
Matt, you look like a serial killer.
Dude, I don't know. Some people are into beards, though.
That's true.
Like, imagine if I grew a beard, it wouldn't fit my personality.
Yeah, same.
I don't think.
Same.
Plus, like, my jawline's flawless, so why would I hide that? That's the one
That's true.
thing
You do
that
have
my
like
body's got.
yeah. You do have a strong jawline. That's something. Yeah. Fuck the rest of these people.
Yeah.
They're weak ass chins. My wife has a weak ass chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has like her chin is so weak it makes her have a double chin, and she's skinny like me. She's the same. She's like 2 inches taller than me. She's 5'8", 5'9" ish, and she weighs the same as me. So she's skinny like me, but she's got a double
like
chin.
She's like one of
because
the
her
few
weak-ass
skinny
chin.
people that still has a double chin.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's fucking hilarious.
That's a good roast.
Yeah, when she was a baby, her not a baby, but when she was a kid, her dentist told her mom that they wanted to break her jaw and bring it forward so that like she would
have a chin.
Yeah, essentially, her mom's like, no, that's like just for looks. I'm not gonna do that just for my daughter's looks. And the dentist was like, all right, don't do it. And now I'm like, you should have done the surgery, Donna. Come on.
I would have married her sooner if she had a nice chin.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, could she get that surgery now?
I mean, I guess, but like, God, that would be so painful. No. You want to do that as a kid when you're more malleable and like you bounce back faster and shit.
I mean, you heal faster, but I think you get traumatized more immediately and lifelongly.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. But it's weird because like we all have depression, anxiety, whatever. But like, if you don't have a reason to have it, so like she needs a reason to have it. It happened in her childhood, and that's it, right there.
Yeah. What sucks about
otherwise you're just psycho if you're just sad for no reason.
Yeah, you're right. You know what sucks about you, wife? The fact that you're depressed for no reason.
Yeah, you just fucking get some childhood trauma, please. That's what I'm looking for here.
But
right?
in your adult life.
Yeah, in your. Yeah.
Go ahead, find some trauma, and then I can marry you.
I'm gonna slowly drop hints at her until she gets braces again or something. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you do?
More trauma.
I mean, you could just take matters in your own hands if you want to give her some trauma.
That's true. No, I got soft hands, man. I can't do that.
No, I wasn't saying choke her. I was saying divorce her.
Oh.
No, don't do that.
That's so good. Yeah. So okay. So you're from the Dakota.
The south one, not the north one.
The one that is southern, more southern than the north one, but somehow the same temperature. You would think, hey, y'all got some sort of vibes going on that's warmer, but
it's a little bit warmer.
I guess, but like I'm from Alabama, so once it hits cold, it's like it's all cold,
Right. If it's like freezing temperatures, you're like, it's just cold.
Yeah,
it doesn't
below
matter.
32, I'm like, all right, well, the ice is freezing, so that means, or the water's freezing, so that means it's cold.
That means
right?
I can't go outside for a while.
Yeah. That's why I'm in the studio with 2 jackets on and sweatpants, because, I was so frozen out, I'm trying to thaw out in here.
I feel that.
Oh man, yeah. All right, so you started stand-up comedy when you came to Reno, not before.
Yeah, when I came to Reno, because South Dakota and Wyoming, it wasn't even a thought in my brain.
Yeah.
Because there's no comedy scene there.
That was my
There's
next
not real
question, yeah.
there's not any scene there, and it wasn't even a thought in my brain. But when I came to Reno, I knew that there was a comedy scene, and
Yeah.
it was like 4 or 5 months before I actually started doing stand up, and I saw like an ad on my Facebook for the Coffee and Comics open mic, because Bobby Benedict was the original host of Coffee
Right,
and Comics
right.
before I was, and so I'm like, well, let me just like go to a couple of other open mics, see how it is, because I got the idea that I wanted to try it, and I went to the Elbow Room open mic when Austin Bach was hosting it, and then I went to the library with Vicky, and
How old are you at this point?
this was 4 years ago, so I was 24.
24. Okay.
Yeah. And what gave me the courage to start stand up after those two open mics was because when I went to the Elbow Room, it was just me in the crowd. It was a completely empty bar and then 4 other comedians. And I'm like, and every comedian just kind of, I mean, they're it's an open mic, right? So they were
Yeah.
just workshopping to themselves for the most part.
Yeah.
And so they all kind of bombed. And so I was like, wait, you can just go up on stage and be bad at comedy? You're allowed to be bad and still go up on stage? I could do that. Because what was holding me back was like, well, I'm not funny, so I have to, I'm not funny yet. So
Right.
I'm like, I'm not allowed to be up on stage. But then I saw people eat shit in front of other comedians.
At the Elbow Room.
Yeah, yeah. So then I went up on stage for the first time at Coffee and Comics, and I was only on stage for like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes or so, but I got some laughs
Yeah.
and I had fun,
Yeah.
and so I just kept doing it, and it was cool.
Was it like when you first did it? Was it like I'm never gonna stop this? So you were like, oh, that's cool. I think I'm gonna try that again. Kind of vibes.
It wasn't. I wasn't ever going to stop, because even right now, 4 years in, I'm like, I might stop tomorrow. Because everyone has those sets where they're like, I just bombed in front of like 50 people on a good crowd,
Yeah.
and I am not funny, and I should just give up now.
Yeah.
But it was more like, oh, I had fun. I got some laughs. I'm going to keep doing it because I have fun. And I just have kept on doing it. And just the more I do it, the more I take it seriously, you know? Because now it's like a big part of my life, because now I book and produce shows, and I go on the road and do shows and everything. So
We did that show in Oregon.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
dope as fuck.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, I mean, not having an audience, right? Obviously, that's not. But like being able to like do that, and like you like having those people up there now that you can go do shows and shit like that. So like the opportunity itself is like it's like dope to have that opportunity,
Yeah.
But would have been nice for that show.
Yeah, I felt really bad for the guy that booked the show, Nick, because
Yeah.
this was apparently like the only show that didn't sell, and there was like a lot of things, and he had to pay out of pocket to like pay us.
Yeah.
So
Good
that
guy, though.
sucked. Yeah, it was nice that he did that. He didn't have to do that, but
Yeah.
it shows that he cares, you know.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm excited to go back up to Oregon. I think I plan on going up there in February again.
Oh, that would be dope. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
You're
yeah.
gonna- that room in February. Ooh, or that I guess not really room, but
Oregon in February. You're like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so fucking cold.
yeah, it's gonna be cold as fuck, man. You have fun with that one.
Oh, I will. As long as it's not an outdoor venue.
Yeah.
The venues that I'm booked on are indoor. It's not the same backyard or the
Gotcha.
food court show.
Gotcha. That's good then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude.
Because I know, I mean, it's cold here, but in Oregon.
Dude, performing outside if it was like 0 degrees,
Yeah.
dude, that would be like a fun, like niche show to do.
Yeah, like
In, like,
once
Alaska.
a year, do just like a fucking polar show,
Yeah, where everyone's just like bundled up,
Yeah.
just freezing their asses off in like 0 degree weather.
Comedians are stuttering through their jokes.
Yeah, there's
Well,
like
that's
a
normal, but
yeah, exactly. But it's like a torture show kind of. Before I took over Coffee and Comics, Bobby had like he did monthly shows, but they were like weird competitions.
Yeah.
And they had like weird games and stuff. Like I remember one time Michael did a show for him, and they did like Sacramento versus Elko or whatever. And so there was Sacramento comedians on a team, and then there was Team Elko, like Mo, Michael, and there was some other person, I can't remember who. But Michael had to wear like a shock collar and do 5 minutes, and then Bobby would randomly like shock him every once in a while, and just stupid shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And that makes really good entertainment.
Yeah, it does.
Torture for the comedians, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, comedians, like the audience gets to dress all warm. Comedians, you got to go out there and like you
have to
get
go
one long sleeve shirt, nothing underneath it. It's just a long sleeve shirt.
Long sleeve shirt and then like a Speedo.
Oh no, man! I would probably just disappear. I think I would evaporate.
I think so. Yeah, you would break
whatever
the laws of physics.
Whatever the ice version is of spontaneous combustion, I would just like boom into ice cubes.
You would just like you would just be an ice sculpture, and then you would just explode.
Yeah. So whatever that is, scientifically, that's what would happen to me.
That's a fun way to go out.
I mean, it sounds quick, and which is my favorite. You know, I don't want to think about it or know about it at all. So like,
you don't want to know when you die. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm about to die.
Not at all.
You just want it done.
Yeah, just.
I just take out a gun and shoot you in the face right now.
Yes! Don't fucking miss, all right? I do not want to be maimed. Ugh.
Well, the good news is if I miss, I can just keep shooting and make sure you're dead.
Yeah. I'm not really going to run from you at that point.
Yeah.
You always hear about those miraculous stories like somebody gets shot in the head and they keep running and they make their way out and somehow they survive. That's not me. The second I get injured, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm down and I'm out.
You just, like, scrape your knee and you're like, all right, I guess I'm dying.
I stub my toe trying to run from them and I'm like, fuck it, just shoot me.
And you're like, wife, just kill me.
Yeah,
just put a pillow over my face.
Suffocate me.
Yeah.
No, that would take too long, too. I don't want to know.
You just don't want to know.
Right to the brain.
Okay. Good for you. I'm happy for you.
All right. There's probably some trauma behind that. Well, we'll figure that out on a different episode. So, I mean, you're doing this because you like it. Do you have, like, plans? Do you have goals with comedy? Like, is there some place you want to be with it? Or are you just kind of, like you said, going with the flow, just enjoying it?
So, ultimately, my goal is I want to be really good at comedy. Mm-hmm. I want to make people laugh, and I want people to enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
Whether that makes me a big comedian or not doesn't matter all that much. I mean, there is a part of me that wants to be, like, selling out theaters and stuff like that.
There's always the dream, yeah.
Yeah, that delusional dream that every person that's an artist has, you know. Yeah. Like every artist wants their own art expo or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just want to make people happy. I want to be good at comedy. Like being bad at things sucks.
Yeah.
And like I want people to appreciate what I do. It's just hard, you know. It's the hardest thing I've ever done outside of. No, it probably is the hardest thing I've done. Yeah. Even getting sober eventually at a certain point started becoming a lot easier. That's right, because you're
sober now, yeah.
Yeah, because with being sober, the more I'm sober, the easier it becomes. But with stand-up, it's just difficult no matter fucking what.
At every level.
It's always difficult.
At every level. I haven't been doing stand-up. I've been doing it maybe 3 years now total, but it's been chopped up because it's a pandemic and shit like that. But about 3 years total, I've noticed that like you conquer one level of like, all right, I'm better at this part, and then you're at the next level of just like you're still not good.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, yeah, but I did that. Yeah, but you still suck.
Yeah, exactly. Just because you are able to go on stage without using your phone and able to just fuck around a little bit, you still kind of suck.
Yeah, you're not that great. You know?
Well, here's the thing. Like everything kind of sucks. Like, even the top comedians, they all have reasons why they suck. It's just some are better at sucking than others.
Yeah.
People suck for different reasons. That's why even big comedians, like, some people don't like him.
Yeah.
You know, some people just like fucking hate him, and some people love him.
That's
like,
true.
There's still diehard Dane Cook fans, which, you know, good for them. And honestly, I don't even like hate Dane Cook, but you know what I mean.
I think he has like a really inappropriately young girlfriend or fiance or something like that.
Yeah, that's very weird. Yeah,
so
I
maybe,
think she's like
I don't know.
really young.
My wife keeps up with all the wokeness, so I just whatever she's mad at.
You're like, all right, roger that.
Yep.
Copy that.
Yep, that's right.
That's really nice for you to have. You're like,
info.
I don't even have to pay attention to being woke because I just have a wife that keeps me
It's not because
informed.
before I just wasn't paying attention and my life was great.
Oh.
Because
Yeah, you were
now she's
blissfully
like, did you
ignorant.
hear about so and so? And I'm like, fuck, I liked the guy. Come on now. I mean, stop touching women. All right. Fuck.
Or at least touch women your age.
Yeah. Only when they ask you to.
Yeah, please.
Jesus. Yeah. And I don't know, man. So yeah, that really is how I find out with. I'm in the journalism school, and 90% of the news comes straight from my wife. That's how I find out. You know, I don't keep
Yeah.
up with news like that. At least not that type of news.
Man, maybe your wife should go into journalism.
No, she's on TikTok a lot. I don't know.
Oh, God. Yeah, TikTok does a pretty good
Yeah.
job keeping you informed.
She knows everything, but it all comes from TikTok and Instagram. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
that's her and every other millennial white woman. Yeah.
Fair
But
enough.
back to what you're saying, yeah, you're just trying to make people happy with this this comedy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a really, altruistic, like, sort of way of going into it, you know? A lot of people, obviously narcissistic tendencies in the comedy community, but, like, everyone says that, but, like,
Not a lot of people are genuine about it.
yeah. And, I don't know.
And you can tell people when people are being genuine about it.
That's what I mean to say is, like, I can feel, like, the genuineness of you, like, the way you approach it, you know?
Like, yeah, because originally when I started stand-up, I wasn't doing it just to, like, do it, like, I didn't have any plans to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Because when I moved to Reno, I mean, I have family members that live here, my siblings, and then their families and everything, so I had them.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I knew no one in Reno. I
Yeah.
had very few social skills, and I was just, like, trying to find a way to connect with people, and because ultimately that's what kind of everything is about, and that's certainly what stand-up is in a certain similar
sure.
sense.
Yeah.
And so, oddly enough, when I first started stand-up and when I had the idea that I wanted to do stand-up, it was less anxiety-inducing to go on stage and try to be funny than just go into a party by myself and trying to strike up a conversation.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because the thing about stand-up is, like, I know the objective. All I have to do is just try to make you laugh by using jokes. That makes
Yeah.
so much more sense than me being like, so what's your job? like at
Yeah.
a club or something.
I don't know, this is becoming like therapy for me because that just like clarifies like how I think.
Yeah.
Like this is my only social outlet at all in Reno. Like I don't, outside of stand up, like I don't really talk to people or anything. And so like just being able to like that when I first come here, like I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I'm not the first show when I went to the Blind Onion for an open mic. I didn't talk to anybody before the show or whatever. Like Wes came up and talked to me for a minute, but like I didn't really like get into any conversation with anyone. But if I can get on stage and show people that I'm funny in the right way, then they're like, oh, I can talk to that guy.
Yeah.
And then it's easier for me to like, I don't know, communicate with people because like I'm a hard person to get along with if you don't know who like how I operate because I'm kind of like an asshole and like mean to people sometimes, but not like intentionally.
Right.
So like that's why I like stand up. I can do that
You can be an
in a
asshole.
funny way and let
Yeah.
you know that's a little bit like me, but like not all like me, but a little bit, and
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, because what's cool about stand-up is like the only, like as long as your intent is just trying to be funny, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can be an asshole, but you have to do it with the intent of being funny.
Yeah.
Because I've seen comedians go up there and just be an asshole without making jokes.
God, yeah.
And every comedian kind of goes in and out of that sometimes because if they start bombing, then they just start to be an asshole without being funny because they're getting like defensive and
Yeah.
because you're very vulnerable on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people can read when you're just being an asshole and not being funny. And it happens to everybody, I think, in some sense, especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
But what's cool about stand-up is you can be an asshole. You just have to make a good joke.
Yeah,
ultimately.
that's true. And I have been there, like, where I've been the one that made the joke that was, like, just to be an asshole. And like, in the moment, I was like, I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Or, like,
Yeah.
And, like, that's a weird recovery. But, yeah, it's a way to be an asshole, which I like to do in a funny way. Because I think it's funny. I think people, like, don't find humor in being an asshole the way I do. And so I think stand-up is a way for me to show them.
Right.
I'm not really mean.
You're just trying to be funny.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
You need to lighten up. Like, I don't know. I know that's a little, maybe an asshole perspective to have, but, like, yeah.
No, because, like, I get it. Like, so, like, I'm only mean to people that I like, to be perfectly honest. And it's not because I'm actually being mean. Yeah. It's because I'm just fucking with you. And that's part of, like also part of my background. I have 3 older brothers and 2 older sisters. So, like, a lot of me being showed affection or showing people affection is just talking shit to each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, like, because here's the thing, like, when it comes to roasting, you only roast people that you like, because otherwise then it's just bullying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But roasting comes with a sense of, like, mutual respect for one another. Right. So that's why roast battles are a lot of fun, and that's why being, like, mean, quote, mean, to friends is fun. Yeah. Because there's already that mutual sense of, like, I already accept you as a person. Yeah. You know? Because sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes your friend's being an asshole too, and you kind of got to show them that. Yeah. And stuff like that. That's so true. I kind of grew up the same way too. Like, even my mom, like, we're not affectionate that way. And my best friend, his family was just like my family too, and they're the exact same way. So, like, all my influences is, like, I'm mean to the people I love. If I like you, I'm mean to you. I make fun of you. Like, I joke with you. Because that's how I communicate. Like, that's just... There's nothing else for me. I don't know another process. Hate is your love language. Yeah, and I've, like, had people, like, my wife will have to tell me, hey, you're sounding like you're being mean to them, and they don't get it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll stop. I don't know. You're like, all right, I'll pump the brakes a bit. So I don't think that I'm autistic, but I definitely do think that I don't realize when people don't realize I'm being mean. Right. Or being, like, jokingly mean. Yeah, you might not be autistic, seriously. But sometimes you don't have great social skills. I miss the cues, and sometimes I miss them on purpose, maybe. Because sometimes it's just fun. Yeah, come on, just lighten up, dude. Yeah, especially when people immediately, like, I ease my way in a little bit because I want to make sure that I don't actually think they're an asshole or whatever. Like, I'm not just being a dick. But sometimes, even after a while, they're still like, hey man, that was, like, kind of not cool, you know? But, like, now, like, most of my friendships, like 75% of our conversations with my friends is me pretending to be mean to them. Yeah. It's very fun. That's the same with my wife. I mean, we joke about, like, fighting and, like, getting a divorce and stuff like that in front of people, and, like, they're like, are you guys okay? And we're like, what? Yeah. You don't joke about divorcing your husband or your wife or your, significant other. You don't joke about punching them in the face. What do you talk about then? Yeah, if you don't talk about suplexing them off the roof, you know? Yeah, no kidding. It would be weird if you didn't think about drowning them in the Truckee River. It's a goof. Yeah, man, you could tell I had divorced parents, I guess. I don't know. Well, yeah, no, but I think it's, like, one of those things where I think if people don't get it, they're just like, oh, they're talking about divorce, then they're not doing well. Yeah. But ultimately, if they knew you as people or as a couple, they would be like, no, they're just really comfortable joking about it. Yeah. Because they're comfortable with each other. Yeah. And ultimately, that's, like, good. We have our best friends in from... They live in Ohio, and they drove through. That when we first met them, we instantly clicked or whatever, instantly, like, friends for life or whatever. But they didn't understand that we were being mean to each other in, like, a fun way. And they because we were all in Korea at this point, and, like, people getting divorced in Korea is, like, a hilarious joke there because it happens so much. Because people cheat all the time. Oh, really?
Dude, Korea is a wild place.
Really?
For the military.
I didn't expect that. Oh, is it
Really?
just for the military people, or is it all of Korea?
Just for the military people.
Okay, gotcha. That makes more sense.
Yeah, because
you're
they
telling me
know.
that military people get divorced? No way.
Yeah, they go overseas, they start cheating on their husbands and their wives, and they get divorced.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so they're like, God, these people might not be doing so hot, and they were like, pull us to the side every now and then, and be like, Are you guys okay? And we're like, yes, we're just fucking around. But we've been friends forever now, and they understand it. But yeah, I have that problem often. People don't. And I have that joke about people think I'm an asshole. I called my friend, fat or whatever. She thought I called her fat or whatever. That's a real thing. Like this person thought I called her fat and was calling her a whale. And
but you called her buoyant.
Yeah, no. But we were talking about something like that, and we were just talking about. I was like, oh yeah, I think it might have been like, she was like carrying like a bunch of like floaties or something. I don't remember what it was. It was because this was in like early college, the first time, and so it's been 10 years since it happened. But she was carrying something. And I was like, oh yeah, she'll float and something like that. And then I said something that sounded like whale, and she's like, this motherfucker just called me a whale.
Oh my God.
And I don't know. And she's tiny and skinny, and like I don't know how she would have thought I was calling her fat, but yeah. So that's kind of how the joke started. And then
calling skinny people fat's very fun.
Yeah.
Because like I could call you fat, and it's true for me.
Yeah.
Like you're a fatty compared to me.
I'm 40 pounds heavier than you.
I know. So you're half of me.
I'm half of you heavier.
No, well, okay, I misspoke, but like I'm 85 pounds. You're 40, like,
I'm 1.5 of you.
Yeah, you're 1.5.
Okay, so not a lot of education opportunities in South Dakota is what I'm getting from this conversation.
I have a English associates from Laramie County Community College.
I don't mean to laugh at that. I have
No, dude.
I have 2 associates, and both of them come from being in the military.
Yeah. Well, I coasted through that English associates doing next to nothing, and I got like C's and B's.
Mm-hmm. That's how I got my bachelor's in criminal
I think
justice.
I did a total of 2 hours of studying in those 2.5 years when I got my associates. I took 1 math class, didn't study at all, and I still got a B. The entire time there was because it was like a college algebra class, but there was also high schoolers in it. It was like one of those where you could like take advanced classes.
Taking those.
And the entire time, the high school kid that would sit next to me would copy me. But I think he failed. I think he failed because I
Did you ever try and sabotage him? Tell me you did.
I wish I could say I did, but back then I was too nice. That was pre-comedian Mollman.
Damn, dude. Yeah, comedy will weather you into a mean-spirited person.
I know. Yeah, well,
just
it's
for the bit, though,
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's mean-spirited, but it's like you kind of use people as objects sometimes.
Yeah.
And
like I said, it's for the bit.
Yeah, so that's why I try to be careful about what and who I make jokes about. Because ultimately, like, if it's like fucking with someone's love life and I make a joke or something, or like something serious, I try to not poke that bear because that's kind of fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're on stage specifically, I think nothing's off the table. Like the whole point of you being on stage, if you do crowd work or whatever, the whole point is you're using them as an object to make jokes or whatever.
Yeah. Or if they feel the need to insert themselves into your joke, then...
Yeah, especially if they heckle or whatever, then it's like, oh, cool, now you're an object that I can make fun of. You stupid bitch.
And that's fun sometimes, but sometimes I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah, well, I don't think most people like hecklers, because, like, the whole... like.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because
the purpose of it is to you to shut up and listen.
Yeah, I'm the entertainment.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be watching me like you watch a movie or whatever.
And if you're doing that, you'll know when you should laugh, even if you don't think it's funny. You'll know when's an appropriate time to make a noise and when's not.
Yeah, but some people honestly just don't know.
Yeah,
some people think they're like, no, I'm trying to help you, and it's like, no, but you're literally stomping on my punchline.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally just interrupting me.
I wish you could tell him that. Like, you're not like
You can.
if you think like
You can.
but
You
like
just also
before
have
it
to be funny.
happens, you know. But like, because if you think that like you have a funnier thing tagged from my bit, and you think that shouting it up on stage, even if it's okay, let's say it's funnier. Now I look stupid because the person in the crowd is funnier than me. So like, you're not helping me.
No.
There's no scenario in which that helps me.
And that happens every once in a while. And then
Yeah.
you're like, well, because the whole thing of like being the comedian on stage is you're the funniest person in the room at that moment.
Yeah.
And when someone in the crowd does something funnier than you, then people are like, this guy's not that funny.
Yeah.
And then you have to find a way to top whatever their punchline was. And so, like,
And that's tough.
It's tough sometimes, yeah. It's tough when something in the crowd is funnier than anything you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
God, and sometimes that happens, and it's fucking shitty, dude. But it makes you a stronger comedian, which is why I try to like embrace it in some way, you know? Because ultimately, when it comes to comedy, you kind of just have to accept whatever's happening in a room,
Yeah.
you know, and then just find a way to be funny with it. You know?
But I think there's a talent before that of like recognizing, like, is this something that I can get rid of quickly, or is this something I need to stop and sort of drag into my show because I know it's going to distract too much and it might be funnier than me, or it might be, you know, more entertaining, you know? Because like, you got to recognize when you can blow it off and when people are literally just going to stop listening to you because this is going on, you know?
Right, yeah. And there's the more you do it, the more you get a feel of when to address something or when to just completely blow past it and just not even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, even when people heckle, and sometimes, like, a lot of times the best scenario is to not even address it and to just move on, because it's 90% of the heckling is just nonsense or garbage or weird or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if you just don't even acknowledge them, you can just kind of push through and just do your material, especially if it's on like a actual booked show instead of an open mic.
Yeah. When it happens on a book show, it's tough.
Yeah, and it happens every once in a while, but still.
Yeah, that happened to me. I think it was a book show. Yeah, that the one at Gamby's, the Bones Lounge. That lady. Ooh.
Oh, that lady was awful to everyone.
Yeah.
Was that the lady that like got dumped that night because she was smoking?
I'm not sure, but she
There
was
was
real
multiple
drunk, and
hecklers.
she was like trying to get all over me the whole time after the show, like after I got off stage. And I told her several times that I was very married and didn't want to be touched, and she just kept like grabbing all over me and hugging me and like touching me,
dude.
and I was like, dude, lady, you gotta fuck. I had to leave. I wanted to hang out with everyone,
Dude.
and I had to go because like she would not stop touching me.
Dude, the way to get a woman to ignore you isn't to tell her that you're married.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
not the move.
It was.
Because then they're like, oh, they're married.
Yeah.
They're forbidden fruit.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I feel like
the way
she
that you
might
do
have
it
thought that.
is tell them you're gay. That's what you do.
I don't. Honestly, she had it in her eyes, dude. I don't think she was. I don't think
She was pretty
stopping.
adamant.
Yeah, she was coming.
She was drunk.
You know. Yeah, she was that drunk though. Like
She would have been coming. Hey.
By herself. I'm a married man. I don't do that.
How has married life affected your comedy? I know that's a really broad question.
No, I would say negatively. And look, there's nothing.
It's good for material though, right?
It's great for material, but it's also like you quickly become that comedian who's like always talking about their wives. Your whole set is about your wife or being married or that. And so it's hard to find. Sometimes it can be hard to find a balance between talking about
Married life.
and just talking about life, you know? Because like I want to relate to people not by something everyone can experience or like can understand. And like these younger people or people that haven't been married, like they're like, I don't want to hear about this. I don't care, you know? And so like, I don't know. I don't want to rely too much on that. And honestly, I don't get to go out as much as these single people do, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
And when
That's
I
fair.
do go out, I don't get to stay out all night, you know?
Right, because
You know?
you got a wife
Yeah.
to take care of and be there for or whatever.
Yeah, and there's comedians who get like opportunities because they're just standing there, because essentially, not literally, but essentially, you're in the right place, the right time, you're talking to the right person.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you want to do a spot on my show? But like that happens less for people like me because like, we don't go out every night.
Right.
We don't go, when we do go out, we're back home by 10, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So negatively, but like not in a way that I'm like, God, I wish I wasn't married,
Right. You're just like, sometimes I just wish I had a little bit more freedom.
Yeah. It's like it's that because I have to, it's a challenge because I have to find a way, because this is what I want to do, I want to do comedy, all facets of it. I want to write it, I want to do it, I want to film it, like all of it. But I have to find a way to do that and live a regular life too, so that's a challenge, but...
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of comedians stay single, because as soon as they aren't single, they immediately like leave comedy for a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
And also like comedians don't want to be held down by anything because they want to be able to have the freedom to just go on the road.
Yeah.
For any reason if they get a booked show or whatever.
Yeah, and that's something like eventually I'll have to like if I can keep this going, have to address is like going on the road.
Right.
And it's so easy for people that are single because you're like, I'll go on the road, I'll bang a chick, I'll bang a dude in every city, and fucking we'll do the damn things. But I'm not even there yet, so I don't.
Fair enough, I get it.
But for you, like, I mean, you're not necessarily single, but
kind of.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know.
But you can live the life of comedy as if you're single,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can move around and do your thing, which is nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, an established relationship is also really nice and comforting in a different way, too. Mm-hmm. Ideally, if I get into a relationship and, like, a committed thing, they should be understanding of me wanting to pursue comedy or whatever.
Here's what you do is you get really good at comedy, and you become a headliner, and then you date your opener, and then that person is open for you the rest of your life, and then you've got...
Oh, dude, that's such a smart idea. All right, give me 15 years.
15?
15 years to get good at comedy and date my opener.
I'll give you 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right, what happens if I don't do it in 3... Why 3.5 specifically?
Well,
Why the half?
There's been a poll going about when someone is going to just tackle you off stage and end it all for you. So, and 3.5 is where we're at. So you got to find one before.
There's a poll.
No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be so fucked up if we ran polls about comedians?
Dude,
I think we should do it.
I thought of this just a couple days ago where I would do a video series where I'd do a like tournament bracket of Reno comedians and then either other niche objects where like the tournament is Reno comedians and who would win in like a fist fight.
Oh yeah.
And then I would just like set up a video and just determine who would win in a fist fight. Not by like any actual physical attributes, but just based off their personality or comedy material or whatever.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, like it would be like me against a toaster, but the toaster would win. Like things like that.
You have to give like a pro and a con for each. Like, all right, yeah, he guys got a really good punchline on this, but man, he talks about black people way too much. And then you got to do the same for the toaster,
Yeah.
He's got multiple settings, but that dinger is not loud enough,
Yeah. Michael would lose every battle because he's gay. Like I would insert their own material into it too.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Have you ever had anyone steal any of your jokes before?
Yeah, 100%. And
really? Even here in Reno? You don't have to like name names?
That's the only place. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I can't name names. I don't remember the guys. Okay, so it was this guy. He said that he came from out of town, and I had seen him before, but not like that often or whatever. So like I recognize his face. That's pretty much it. And he goes, I'm a comic at wherever he's from. He's like, I just got here this week, and I was like, that's weird because I saw you several times, like a handful of times before this. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I just got here this week. I just wanted to do this, while I'm here in Reno. And he got up. And he did my bit about, I have a bit about like, my neighbors have a bunch of yard signs and one of them says, drive like your kids live here. So I stomped the gas and I haven't been back since, right? So he did that whole bit. And I'm not talking about he did a version of it. I'm talking about word for word.
Damn.
Did that bit.
Damn.
I went back and listened to my recording too, and I was like, that's word for word. Like, he's the exact same bit. I was so mad. And he did that before my set, and I wasn't doing that bit, so I was like, whatever. But, like, I didn't know how to address that at the time, and I was just, the whole time I did my set, I was just so pissed. I actually did well, probably because I was pissed, but I was so mad, dude, because I couldn't say anything, because, like, I didn't know what to say without being just like,
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
yeah, because those were the only things that were coming up, was like, I will fuck you up, like,
Right.
But then I never saw the guy again, so, like, what do you do about it?
Yeah, fair enough.
What about you? Anybody stole your bits?
Yeah, that happened. I'm not going to say who it was, but there was a bit that I was doing, and I don't think I'm even going to do this bit anymore because it's kind of corny and cheap or whatever, but it was the pizzas, like, sex bit, because even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that entire bit is, which I don't agree with because pizza's never shoved a crust up my ass and told me it'll kill my family.
Yeah.
And, like, the entire bit is just me escalating to, oh, I was molested.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of a cheap and corny joke, and someone did that. They didn't necessarily steal the joke, but they just like took that premise and did a way worse version of it.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
feel like-
it sucked. I was like, what the fuck?
I feel like I know who this was, or I remember vaguely of someone, not you, doing a bit like that.
And Jeff Pierce mentions the whole pizzas like sex thing as like a tag.
Yeah.
But it's not like, that's not like part of the bit. He's just
Yeah, yeah.
mentioning that people say
Pizza's
pizza's
like
like
sex.
sex.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
even
a lot
when
of
it's
people-
bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But also pizza is not like sex.
It's not.
It's like no. Pizza's not like sex. That's a dumb comparison.
What is sex like, though?
It's
Well,
like,
I mean, that's going to be different for everyone, but,
it's like,
I mean, what's your comparison for?
what is sex like?
Yeah.
Sex is like alcohol.
You're not doing it anymore?
Yeah.
You go to meetings
Hell
for
yeah.
it?
I go to meetings for it and tell people why I don't have it anymore. And every time I've had it,
You run a registry because of it?
yeah,
What?
every time I had to go to a class because of it.
Oh, man.
Sex is like alcohol. I black out.
I'm black. So what is your, you have this bit about being 28 years old with a 14-year-old's brain.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I had a therapist because I guess like the setup to this bit is most of my childhood was me either being in the hospital, recovering in the hospital, because I was a really sickly kid, and honestly, I shouldn't have been alive. So I just didn't have a lot of life experience growing up. And so much of like growing up and becoming an adult and a person is just experiencing life.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if you're just like in a hospital bed or if you're just at home recovering, you don't experience a lot of things other than just that.
Yeah.
So one of the therapists told me is like, I have the brain and life experience of a 14-year-old kid, even though at the time I was 26, but I guess I'm 28.
Yeah.
Right. And so that made so much more sense because like, I told you that the reason why I started comedy is because like, I don't even know how to socialize.
Yeah.
So I was just, even though I was 24, just trying to figure out how to exist as a person.
Yeah.
And even still now, I'm like a late bloomer because like so much of like everything I just don't have a lot of experience doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just now going to concerts and stuff like that. Basically, 90% of my life as a kid, I didn't experience everything, so I have the brain of life experience of a 14-year-old, which is weird now because I'm 28.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have the life experience of a 14-year-old kid, but I'm 28. So it's kind of like if I walk into a room or if I like enter like a relationship or if I see any specific scenario, I'm like, this might be a bad idea. But I don't know it until I do it because I don't know anything. It's like my frontal lobe says no, but soft spot Steve, it's like, fuck it, let's do it.
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, so I categorize these two brains and mindsets into soft spot Steve, 14-year-old me, and then frontal lobe Larry.
That's
Yeah.
really funny. You have like multiple personalities based on like your physical like post-pubescent, but like your interpubescent brain. You know what I mean? Like your brain is a child going through puberty, but your body is definitely not anymore.
Yeah, because it's like my intuition is fairly good for the most part, where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this bitch is crazy. But then soft spot speed is like, yeah, she is. Let's go for it. You know,
Yeah, that little psychotic fuck the consequences part of your youth hasn't gone
It's
away.
still- it's-
yeah.
and I think a lot of people still have that. I think in some sense, but me, it's a little bit more apparent. But yeah, and it's really strange because it like I did like go to prom and everything, and I had like some experiences and stuff, but I didn't have a girlfriend until I was 23, and I didn't have my. It put me into like a lot of weird scenarios where I like did things backwards and like cart before the horse. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I didn't even get my first kiss until after I lost my virginity, which is true. I lost my virginity before I got my first kiss.
I feel like that's like normal in like the gay community. I won't say normal, but like.
But this was
Not
this was
unpopular.
this was when I was still very deeply closeted.
Oh, okay. So this was pre. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, then that doesn't make as much
like
sense.
because I had so much like repression from not only Catholicism but like a lot of what I watched like on YouTube and stuff like that had a ton of homophobia. And even like my favorite TV show, like Scrubs, I've been re-watching that. There's a ton of homophobia in that. Because I don't know. So I just like when I was a kid, I just like shoved all of the emotions down and I just disassociated.
Yeah.
So I didn't even like start doing any gay shit until like 3 years ago.
So you're a 3-year-old gay.
Yeah, I'm an infant gay.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's fun.
Yeah.
So gay me is an infant.
Gay.
There's soft spot Steve, there's frontal lobe Larry, and then there's gay Scott. I don't know.
Gay Scott.
Homo Harry.
Homo Harry. That could be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, Homo
No,
Harry.
Homo Harold.
Homo Harold.
Because you don't call babies Harry. You call the older people. It's a little Harold.
Yeah, little baby Harold.
Homo Harold.
Homo Harold. Yeah. Oh my god.
There you go. There's the 3 phases of Mollman. Homo Harold.
Homo Harold. That's 3. Soft
What's next? What's your final form of gayness? From Homo Harold to what?
Oh shit. I'm trying to think of a name. Twink Tyler.
You could have gone Terry, Twink Terry.
Oh, Terry's really
Yeah.
because that reminds me of fucking Nick Swartzen's character in Reno 911.
Oh, he is.
That's my
Oh,
final
yeah.
form is
That's when he's on the fucking roller
bisexual
skates.
moment.
Yeah. You should start wearing roller skates.
Oh, roller skates and just the tightest, shortest shorts.
That's so funny, man.
Oh my god.
Twink Terry there.
It's really weird because like I'm not like flamboyant and I'm not good at being flamboyant either. Like hey,
Yeah.
like it feels really forced.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
I feel that like you don't come across as someone that's like, not that you don't come across as like you come across as straight or anything, but like you're not a gay that's like, of course you're bisexual, but like you're not someone who's like
I'm not
I'm
stereotypical
that thing, you know?
gay.
Yeah.
I knew what you were saying because it's like I think we were talking about this when we were in Medford because a lot of people have told me like I'm still fairly masculine like
Yeah.
as a person and there's a difference between gender and sexuality.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes more feminine men are a little bit more gay.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're different, but a lot of them are connected. But for the most part, I'm fairly masculine for the most part.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty comfortable in my gender and whatnot. But doesn't mean I can't suck dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you're just a masculine dude sucking dick.
Yeah. So like instead of using lube, I do use like WD-40. I use fucking motor oil.
Dude, that's so so funny.
I don't use coconut oil like some gay dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I emptied the fryer after I cooked my fried chicken. This is straight up canola oil. Peanut oil. Hope you don't got no allergies.
Yeah. You're going to be choking either way.
Yeah, don't matter. You don't need to breathe for this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of that, you're thinking of that new like 14-year-old brain as a 28-year-old, that bit. What's your writing process like for that? What do you normally go to for that?
Well, it's hard because like part of the reason why I'm struggling with writing it is because I don't know how to make people understand. I'm trying to figure out a comparison. Like the comparison I'm trying to go with is instead of teaching an infant how to walk, you put the infant as like a pilot of a biplane instead of teaching it how to walk.
Yeah.
And because again, it's like cart before the horse because I'm experiencing things with like the life experience of a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Far before I should have the responsibility to be doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like the comparison is like, so then like me losing my virginity is like that. So I'm like the co-pilot, but the person that's taking my virginity is the main pilot. And you know how like in biplanes you have to hand spin the propeller?
Yeah.
So she does that, which is my penis. And like and then she gets the front seat and then she starts flying, she takes off. I'm not doing anything. I'm just like in the back. I'm like probably still teething. I'm sucking on the joystick or something. You know, and she's just like, wow, you've never flown before? You're really good at it, buddy. And then I'm just like, I'm so good. I'm so good at flying airplanes, everyone.
Have you seen the movie Baby Geniuses?
No, it looks really bad though.
Yeah,
I've seen like
it's
clips
for kids,
of it.
so it's like, terrible in that way, but like if you're a kid, it's fun, but like it's just so funny because like it'd be like Baby Geniuses, but if they were trying to fuck adults,
Yeah.
they're like hitting on girls in the club.
Oh my
Or they're
God.
you know what I mean? That's like your dating life, That's because you're just the baby trying to make it work.
Yeah, it's
You should
like,
watch that movie and incorporate it too.
Yeah. It's kind of. Don't you have a bit where you're like, the only people that are into me are ones that might be into pedophilia?
Yeah, because I look really young. So like, if you're into me, it's because my wife. Like, I have two versions of the bit, but basically, my wife must be a pedophile because she's into me, and I look like a little young.
child, yeah.
I look like I could be a minor. So yeah.
You don't look that young though.
Yeah, the bit is wearing it. It's losing it. It's
Well, yeah,
losing it.
you've
When I
got-
started, it was going well, but now it's kind of I look weathered.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna have to find a new way to incorporate that, which is kind of why I.
You could just be like, oh, when we first started dating, I thought she was a pedophile.
Yeah.
Which is why I held off on being married for her for so long. I had to wait it out and see if she wasn't a pedophile.
That's true. Yeah.
Then when I
I had to-
started
I
aging,
was-
and then she's like, oh, no, I still love this man.
I was very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 years later, she asks me, when we first started dating, I thought you were a pedophile because I looked so young and you were into me. So I was like waiting to get married to you. Because she also looks really young too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you two the same age?
Yeah, well, I'm like a year and a half older than her, but yeah.
Okay,
pretty
gotcha.
much.
Right on.
Yeah, her brother was my best friend pretty much since, like, I guess middle school. Well, probably high school, yeah.
Okay.
We started hanging out in high school, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird because we were all three roommates before her and I started dating, and then she and I started dating. So that was a interesting setup we had there all in one house.
Can I ask you something kind of maybe
100%.
weird? Maybe that you've been asked a lot. Is it weird dating someone with just the female version of your name?
It really isn't, and I never say it. Like, I mean, I've been
Right.
saying it recently because we have two people staying in our house, so I'm like, I can't just say babe because, like, one person also says babe to their wife, so it's like, who's talking? So, like, I say her name then, but, like, I usually don't say her name. And then I also...
It's not weird if you don't
I
talk
never
to her.
say my name.
Well,
And
yeah.
she doesn't either, so, like, I never hear it. We never hear it, so it's not weird,
Really? Because, like, the longer I date someone and the longer I get to know someone, the more I use their name. And that's just kind of like kind of like an affection thing, and when we get closer, especially with me specifically. Now a lot of people know me as like my last name, which is Mollman.
Yeah.
So then when people use my first name instead, it's almost like oddly more intimate. You know what I mean?
I feel that because I was thinking about this earlier because I almost asked because I was like, we just call him Mollman, but like it feels like
But I'm Steven.
different to call him Steven. Like it feels like I'm taking a step, like use it. Like this is more.
Like, do I have to kiss you now?
Yeah, like are we gonna make out? You know, like that's gonna be great ASMR if we make out right in front of these mics.
That's not making out.
That's my butthole, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you queef on the mic.
Do I have that capability, Daddy?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you just became my sexual awakening.
Ooh.
But yeah, no. So I don't really think it's that weird.
Okay.
We never say each other's names really that often. Even when we do, we don't think about it. But it is something I think about all the time because you know I'll call in something to be like, hey, what's your wife's name? Like, it's Danielle, and they're like, oh, Daniel and Danielle, that's really funny, and I'm like, it was.
Yeah, it was so funny.
10 years ago, that was real funny.
But now.
Now.
So you've been with her 10 years now?
I think it's so we got together 2012, 2013. Yeah, it's been 10 years, I think, or 10 years next year maybe since we started dating. But we've been married since 2016. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, she's pretty cool, man. She actually get a lot of. It's thinking about marriage and comedy. Some of the things I do get premise wise come from shit she says.
Yeah, because she's also pretty funny.
Yeah, she's so fast and like she's very quick witted and she can call back better than any comedian I know. Like
really?
I mean, yeah, better than like she'll think of something that we were talking about 2 days ago, but fits so perfectly and it's like obviously something memorable. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? And
right.
Yeah, she's really good at that. But she's terrified of individuals, so she doesn't get in front of them and speak.
Gotcha. Fair. I don't think I've even met her before. Does she go out a lot? I assume she doesn't.
She works 10-hour days and she goes in from like she leaves the house like 5:30 in the morning, so she doesn't do the like weeknight stuff.
Right.
But she's been to a couple of the shows, and then most of them she doesn't go to. So, but
Fair.
it's not like hey, come to my show. No, it's just kind of like you have something going on. Okay, it's cool. I'm just gonna do this show. You know?
Right.
So
yeah, because after 10 years of being with each other, you kind of figure
and
out each other's rhythm.
If I want her to come, she's like, yeah, I'll come. But you know,
but
I don't pressure her because it doesn't affect me one way or the other. Whether she's there. Like I don't do better or worse.
It's not like you're asking your father to come see your play recital when you were in high school or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
my
like,
father would have called me the F word and said no. Yeah,
Alabama.
My dad was confused when I stopped playing baseball and started playing soccer in high school.
Yeah, soccer is one of the most physically demanding sports. Like soccer just has a really bad rep because people in South America and Europe flop a lot.
Yeah.
But ultimately, studies say it's the most physically demanding sport ever.
Yeah. It's like, have you been kicked in the face and still had to run for another 45
Dude,
minutes?
Have
What are you talking about?
People have no idea what it's like getting slide tackled with with cleats up.
Dude, it's so painful.
Or specifically, if you're a goalie, your entire job is to get
brutalized
by a soccer ball. And dude,
our coach, we would practice brutalizing our keeper because he would teach us how to do it without getting caught, and then he would teach the keeper how to take it without dying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's probably, maybe he should have taught us some of those things, but this is Alabama, dude. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Southern football.
Nobody's checking in on the fucking soccer program in the South.
Yeah. And I will say this, like, it may be more physically demanding, but it's not like as insane as like American football is,
Just impact wise.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah. People get concussions in soccer and stuff like that, but very rarely.
Yeah.
It's mostly broken ankles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a lot of torn ligaments and ACLs and whatnot. Football is kind of insane that we still allow that as a sport.
It's crazy because, like...
I love it, but...
We have that, because I have that duality in me. Because I'm from the South, so football is, like... We live and
Roll
breathe
Tide.
that shit. Well, I'm not a Roll Tide fan, but I'm a War Eagle fan. But I understand, like, my whole family's Roll Tide, though. So, like, that same intensity,
Gotcha.
I understand it. But I'm also like, these people don't need to be headbutting each other like this. Like, what do we do? And UFC, beyond me, dude.
Yeah.
Those people are just trying to have seizures by 28. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I love watching it now.
Yeah, it's fun. But I can't.
I
don't
don't.
know.
Sometimes I like watching it in like a big bar or something where I can't hear it as much because I don't like the sound of a fist or a foot slapping against just tense dead meat.
You like watching it, but you don't like hearing it.
Oh, because it's tough to hear.
Gotcha.
What else are you working on? Just the mic? You got any? What are you doing?
I mean, I'm putting out more material on my social media now, which is good. I am working. So, Noelle booked me for a New Year's Eve show, at the library for, it's like one of those,
music
music
shows?
show or
Yeah.
whatever, where we do a karaoke song with a live band, and then we do comedy afterwards, which
Hell
I'm
yeah.
super excited for.
Yeah, that's New Year's Eve, you said?
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
What time?
I don't know.
Okay, New Year's Eve at the library. Check him out. His Instagram at
Mollman Comedy.
Yeah.
Mollman _ comedy.
Yeah, and we'll tag that in the links below, but find him there for all his upcoming shit.
That's on all of my social media too.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram.
YouTube,
Yeah. Do you X?
MySpace.
Do you
I do have X.
SoundCloud.
Yeah,
SoundCloud. You guys have him on AOL chat.
Ooh, niche. Yeah. Add me on Christian Mingle. At Mollman Comedy.
Oh, you need a dating app for people with scoliosis. You gotta have one of those.
Yeah.
Well, every
Yeah.
other fucking niche category of human being
That's
has
true.
their app, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like if farmers can have an app, I feel like people with scoliosis
You're
can
right.
have an app. Hey, but ignore it if you see my wife on there, bro.
I literally make the app, I create it, and then I only see your wife. Because they're...
You're the only two in Reno
Yeah.
with scoliosis. Do you still get PTSD when you go into a hospital or something? Or you smell that like hospital smell? Do you get like shaky or anything?
No. Actually, oddly enough, hospitals are like kind of a weird, because I spent so much like time in hospitals. It was like almost kind of like a safe space.
I get it. My wife, she doesn't, for a while, she would start shaking when she would go into hospitals afterwards, just because she could smell it and like she couldn't control it. She'd just start shaking and feel anxiety because of the PTSD from that.
Well,
those back surgeries are traumatic, dude.
They really are. Well, for me, it's like I get shaky now when I go to hospital, but that's just because I'm poor. I don't have health insurance.
Yeah, you're just shaking that cup trying to get some
I'm like,
coins
please,
in
for
there.
the love of God, don't make me pay $1 million just to get like a cold or something checked out or whatever.
Donald Trump's gonna win in 2024, and he's gonna fix us all up, dude. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to worry about it. You're gonna have a new back. You're gonna have a new back, and Mexico's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Fuck yeah, dude! I can't wait for Mexico to cure my scoliosis.
That's hands down my favorite line he did.
Yeah. We're gonna
Mexico's
build a wall,
gonna pay for it,
and Mexico's gonna pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things where like I feel like because of how egocentric and how funny Donald Trump is, almost every comedian should look at Donald Trump and just be like, oh, that's how you're funny with a massive ego. Because that is like the peak ego of just pure narcissism.
Yeah.
But he's so fucking funny.
He's hilarious.
God, he's funny, but he doesn't know why.
He knows that he's funny, but he doesn't know why he's funny. And
that's honestly the funniest.
Yeah, it
when
makes
people
it funnier
don't know why
because
they're funny.
he tries to latch onto things he thinks is the reason, and it's not it. And that's funnier for us because it's like...
It's kind of weird because we're kind of laughing at him, and then the people that support him don't know that we're laughing at him or them.
Yeah,
they just think they're just like,
yeah. See, they like us.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Fuck Mexico.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyways, now we're gonna. That's how the episode's gonna end. Just you saying "fuck Mexico." All right, man. You guys go check him out: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Christian Mingle, all the good sites. Try to get out of here. Thanks for coming on the podcast, man. It's been a blast. Check him out Tuesdays, 6:30 signups.
6:30 sign up, 7 o'clock showtime.
Yeah, open mics. All are welcome. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you try and bring it a little closer or
A little bit closer.
Yeah. I don't know how close. Yeah, if you deep throat it, that might be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I want it
That's good.
inside of my esophagus.
That sounds good right there.
Ooh,
that's,
buddy.
That's nice and delicious.
Nice and crisp and delicious.
Yeah. This is all getting cut. I hope.
No, I hope not. This is our sponsor by KFC.
KFC.
Nice, crisp, and delicious. Put it down your throat. KFC.